What's up, guys? Grim Creeper here. Today am going to show you how I farm XP and money on Phasmophobia. Before we jump into it though, full credit where credit is due. I did get this method from Magster's YouTube channel, and I believe she credits someone else in her video as well. So check out her channel. Full credit to her and the person that she credits in her video. I don't remember who it is, but I'm just going to show you how I do it. I got, when I first prestiged, I used this method and I'm already back up to level 75 in a very short amount of time. So it works very, very well. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to set up a custom difficulty. So let's take a look at that. So the one that I use is this one right here. So you'll see the reward multiplier is 12.97. And let's take a look at what those settings are. So for the player settings, we have starting sanity set to 0, sanity pill restoration set to 0, and sanity drain speed set to 200. This just helps to bring up that multiplier. We have sprinting turned off, player speed at 100, flashlights turned off, and lose items and consumables on. This one has to stay on or else the reward will become 0 for the multiplier. So yeah, that's those settings. Let's take a quick look at ghost settings. We have ghost speed at 100, roaming frequency high, changing favorite room high, activity level low, event frequency low, friendly ghost off, and grace period 0 with a hunt duration of medium. Kills extend hunts, we can turn that off, because I don't think that has any effect on the multiplier. And then the evidence given 0. So it's a 0 evidence, 0 sanity difficulty. And we have the hunt duration set to medium because it's a good balance of being able to survive the hunt without sprinting. And then lastly, let's take a look at our contract settings. So we have setup time at 0, weather set to windy. This is important because the windy weather gives you one of the highest multipliers for weather, but it's still easy to see and hear things. And then door starting open set to high, number of hiding places none because we're not going to need that. Sanity monitor and activity monitor are off. Fuse box is broken at the start of the contract, and there are 0 cursed possessions. So that is what I'm doing for my difficulty settings to get this super high multiplier. And then I have a different loadout here as well that I've called farm. So let's run through that really quick. It's not super expensive, and you'll make a lot of money doing this method anyway. So we have all the regular equipment. You get that for free anyway. You don't really need any of it. Sometimes I'll use the video camera to see if there's mimic orbs. But yeah, you really don't need any of the evidence equipment. So I just have it in there because you get one for free anyway. We definitely need a crucifix. I like to bring in firelight. And we need igniters and incense, of course. Those are super important, or else you're not going to survive this. And motion sensor is also really important, which you'll see when we get in there why. I also like to bring in a parabolic microphone, a photo camera, just in case I'm feeling a little extra ambitious. And then salt. We want to bring 1 salt, and I like to bring in tier 2 salt because it doesn't slow the ghost down when it walks over it, so it's easier to help identify the ghost. And that is everything I'm bringing. So let's enable this loadout. And the goal with this method is to identify the ghost in 1 single hunt. So, like I said, we're doing this on Camp Woodwind. And before we jump in, let's just quickly take a look. I'll walk through, well, let's load into the map first, and then I'll walk through kind of what we're doing for trying to farm XP and how quickly this will go. So the idea is that we are going to try to guess this ghost within 1 single hunt, and we should be able to identify in 1 hunt about half of these ghosts. So in 1 hunt, we'll be able to tell if it's a phantom, a wraith, a revenant, a poltergeist, an oni, maybe a yokai, a hantu, a myling, the twins, a raiju, an obake, a moroi, a diogen, or a thay. We should be able to identify those all in that first hunt. And if it's not one of those, then what we're going to do is just take a guess and leave. And so about half of these games, when you're farming XP, you're actually going to get the ghost wrong, but you're still going to get usually around $300 to $500. So first I'm going to take a look at what the objectives are. So we have motion sensor, EMF reader, and parabolic. Those ones are pretty good. I don't love the parabolic one, but let's jump into what the method actually looks like. So first and foremost, we're going to grab a crucifix, some salt, and a motion sensor. And then the reason we do this on Camp Woodwind is because it's nice and wide open, so it's easy to see the ghost, even though we have no flashlights and it's dark out. And the other reason we do this on Camp Woodwind is because we can throw items over this gate. So if you look up right about here, I like to use this pole and the tea lights here for to like kind of center myself where I'm throwing these. So I'll throw these over the gate just like that. And then because one of our objectives for this one is an EMF reader, I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And I'm not really going to walk around and try to use this. I'm just going to turn it on and throw it over the fence. And then hopefully the ghost will do something near it that will cause it to go off. So then we're going to grab our lighter. We're going to grab 3 smudges. And here's where it gets a little bit tricky because you want to try to get set up before the ghost starts to hunt, but it could start hunting right away. So I'm going to go a little bit quick, but I'll talk through what I'm doing. So as I go in here, I'm going to crouch. I'm going to drop my smudges on that bench. I'm going to pick up the crucifix first and then the motion sensor and the salt. And the reason I pick up the crucifix first is so the ghost can't hunt on top of me. Place the crucifix, place some salt, place our motion sensor, and then grab our smudges and get ready. It's hunting. Here we go. So here it is. We're going to try to bring it over here. Okay, we have to smudge so we can survive. Oh, it got me. I thought it was going around to the left, but it went around to the right. Okay, bad example. So I'm just gonna... I think it got a little bit faster when it got near me, but I think that might have just been line of sight. I'm just gonna guess Goryo. Anytime I'm not sure, I just guess Goryo, because that's like the hardest one to identify. Oh, it was a Raiju. Okay, so it did get faster due to our motion sensor, which is why we bring that in. So that's a bad example because I died, so I only got $12. But let's run it. Let's jump in again. And the idea is that each of these only takes about 2 minutes. So okay, we're not going to be able to get a photo of the ghost. Maybe we can get the parabolic, but let's do just a standard kind of run through this. So we're going to go in. We're going to throw our stuff over the gate. And because we have parabolic as one of our objectives, I'm going to grab that and 2 smudges. And then I'll just turn this on as I go in, see if we can get any responses on it. Doesn't sound like it. Oh, okay, this one started hunting really quickly. It's pretty slow. Okay. That ghost seemed pretty slow, so I'm thinking this might be the twins, because it's slightly slower than normal. But let me just, let me grab another smudge. My ear for the twins' footsteps is not always the best, so let's hope I'm right about that. But I'm gonna do this just to talk through kind of what the goal is. So we put the crucifix down so that it can't hunt on top of us while we're hanging out by these picnic tables, and then we put down the motion sensor as an electronic device so that if it's a Raiju, we'll hear it get faster as it gets close to that. We're going to try to get our parabolic. We put the salt down because that can help us identify if it's a wraith. If it's a wraith, you want to try to get it to walk over that salt while it's hunting, and if it is a wraith, it will not disturb the salt. Okay, there's our parabolic evidence, so that's pretty good. So we have one objective done. We're fairly sure it's the twins because it was slow. So let's go ahead and leave and see if we were right. And either way, this is going to be a great example of why this method works so well, because if we're wrong, you'll see we'll still get a decent amount of money, and if we're right, we'll get a lot. Okay, so it was the twins, so it was a little bit slower. So we did get the ghost correct. We got one objective, we got our investigation bonus, and then our multiplier is going to make that reward huge. So if you get like 2 or even all 3 objectives, you can get up to like over 4,000 for this. And then if you're wrong, you'll usually still get around 300 to 500 as long as you've completed 1 or 2 objectives. So let's skip that. And you'll see right there, I'm already like I'm more than halfway through level 76. So let's do one more. A lot of this, you kind of have to have knowledge of the different ghost traits. So like I knew that was twins because twins will, when they hunt, they'll always either be a little bit slower than normal or a little bit faster than normal. And that ghost was a little bit slow. I don't have a video myself of like walking through all those different traits. But again, I got this method from Magster's YouTube channel, and she has a great video walking through all the different ghost traits that I used to learn. So definitely check out her channel. And let's do this one more time. So we have EMF reader and parabolic are the 2 that I think we might be able to get. So let's just walk through it really quickly. Toss these over. And we'll bring in a parabolic again. Okay, we're gonna drop these, grab our stuff, get set up here, hopefully before it hunts. Perfect. And then in this case, I'm gonna use the All right, we got that one. That was quick. So we don't need that on anymore. So now we just wait for a hunt. And I like to kind of open this gate all the way too, because then sometimes you'll see it slam before you realize it's hunting, and that can be an indicator that the ghost is hunting. Perfect. Okay, sounds pretty normal speed. Ghost, 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 ghost. Hello. Ghosty, ghosty. Okay, it's definitely coming for us. Yep. Oh, okay. Okay, that one was a short hunt, so we didn't really learn anything that time, except that it's probably not a yokai. So a yokai will only hear you talking if it's close enough to you. And since that one did start moving towards us once I started talking, we're pretty sure it's not a yokai. Here's the other stuff we learned. It's not a Thay, because a Thay would be super fast at the beginning of an investigation. It's also not a Deogen, because a Deogen would also be super fast, and it would know where you are, and then it would get really slow when it gets close to you. It's not a Moroi, because we're playing 0 sanity, so it would be really fast, because Morois get faster the lower your sanity gets. It's not a Hantu, because Hantus are faster in the cold. The breaker's off and it's cold out. And also when the breaker's off, you'll see a Hantu's breath as it's breathing, and we didn't see that. Oh, it's hunting again. Come on, ghost. Okay. Possibly, maybe not. I was gonna say possibly a poltergeist, because it was throwing a lot of stuff just then. Maybe. We might just guess poltergeist for this. It didn't quite seem like it was throwing enough stuff, but we might just guess poltergeist. So poltergeist will throw something, like you saw it throwing stuff off the table, about every half second. So we're gonna guess poltergeist. But before we leave, I'll talk you guys through some of the other ones that I know it isn't and why. So we know it's not a revenant, because a revenant, when it doesn't detect a player, will be super, super slow. Like the footsteps are so obviously slow. And then as soon as it knows where you are, whether it's because you talked or you turned on your flashlight or it gets line of sight on you, it becomes so fast. So it's not a revenant. It's not a wraith because it stepped in the salt. It's not a Raiju because it didn't get faster while it was walking near the motion sensor. I don't think it's a phantom because phantoms are much harder to track. They become more and more like they blink invisible for longer, so they're harder to see, and this didn't seem like it was doing that. And then Onis are the opposite, where they're much more visible while they're hunting. And I don't think that this was an Oni. Now, admittedly, my eye for Onis is not great. I've been wrong about this a few times, but again, the goal is just to get reps of this in. So like the more games you can get in, the more experience and money you'll get, even if you're not getting the ghost right. I don't think it's the twins because it didn't seem like it was a little slow or a little fast. And I don't think it's a Myling because a Myling would be super quiet, although it was pretty quiet. We're still going to guess poltergeist, but this might be a Myling. All right, let's go. Oh, it was a shade. Okay, so shade. This is a really good example of a ghost that's really hard to identify with this method, because a shade doesn't have anything super unique about it while it's hunting. The unique thing about a shade is that it won't do an event or start a hunt if it's in the same room as you. So with this method, it's really hard to identify a shade. But you'll see I only did one objective there. That's the only money I got. It's a $25 objective, and I still made 150. So, and I didn't die, so I didn't lose money. So that's still pretty effective, even when you're getting things wrong and not getting many of the objectives done. Okay, just to really drive it home, let's do one more before we call it and end the video. Okay, so we have get a ghost to blow out a firelight. We're not going to be able to capture a photo, and cleanse with incense is going to happen while it's hunting us. So we're going to grab our stuff. Oh, my game just froze for a sec. That was weird. Okay, we're going to grab our stuff. We're going to toss it over the fence. And this time I'm going to bring in a firelight since it's one of our objectives. And then again, we're going to try to get set up before it starts to hunt, but it may start right away. And then the goal is just that it will blow out that firelight. Where's my crucifix? There it is. Crucifix can be really hard to spot sometimes when you're doing this. There's the salt. Okay. Because the flashlights don't work, so it's really dark and hard to see the crucifix on the dirt, but once you do it a few times, you kind of get used to it. All right, now we're just waiting for a hunt. It was throwing things over here. So we like to just watch the... Oh, there we go. Ghosty, ghosty, ghosty. Ghost, 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 ghost. Hello, ghost. Is this a yokai? Are you a yokai, ghost? Ghost. I think this might be a yokai. It's not hearing me at all. Is that hunt already over? Okay. So possibly a yokai. We're just gonna guess that and go. And again, that's what this method is. You do one hunt, you try to guess it, and then you leave. And then you just do that repeatedly. Sometimes I'll come over here and I'll turn on the night vision just to check if there's orbs. Because even though we're on 0 evidence, if we see orbs, then it's a mimic. So, okay, I'm not seeing orbs, although I think it was like kind of over here. So it might be a mimic. But I'm fairly confident this is a yokai because I was talking a lot during that hunt and it didn't come straight for me. Now, I didn't do any of the objectives. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to get 0 for this. But again, that took about 2 minutes. And so you just do that repeatedly. You'll get a ton of XP. Oh, it was the twins. Weird. So yeah, I got 0 for this because I got the ghost wrong and I didn't get any objectives. But I just do this repeatedly for a while. I prestige about 3 weeks ago. I play this game maybe 3 nights a week. And I've done this method for like an hour kind of here and there throughout that time. And as you can see, I'm level 76. So you can level up really, really quickly with this method if you can get the ghost right. So yeah, hopefully that's super helpful. And it can encourage you to prestige when you reach level 100 because it's kind of fun to get reset and then have a method to kind of build back up and try to work through those levels really quick. And it actually really helps you be able to identify ghosts outside of playing this method as well. So hopefully that was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments. And if it wasn't, let me know that too. Yeah, have a good one, guys.